I'm 10 years old and I'm happy. I live in a beautiful house with my parents and a dog and a cat and even a parrot. Many of our neighbors on the street are refugees. They have escaped from the war just nearby. My parents help them with money and work. I don't quite understand this word refugee, so I conclude that it's some kind of nationality. I'm 15 years old. I'm standing at the Red Cross in Europe and I'm saying the words that I would never forget. We are refugees and we are asking for asylum. They send us to the police. Police take away our passports. They take our fingerprints. And the ink on my fingers, it is so weird that I'm suddenly this crazy immigrant. And I laugh because it's so absurd, and the policeman looks at me like I'm crazy. Police and asylum authorities interrogate my parents. They interrogate them for 8 hours. This asylum interview is their only chance to tell a story, to explain why they are asking for asylum. And they have to, for 8 hours, they tell the worst things that happened in their lives. And the asylum authorities, this woman, they just laugh and they say, "Oh, you tell in fairy tales." My parents and the asylum authorities, they also ask my parents, "Do you have any proof? Do you have any proof that you are persecuted? Like you should have like legal documents or videos or photos." And I like, this is crazy. Why? How could we plan for this? We had 1 hour to pack and then we just left. How the system is like this, that you have to plan to ask for asylum. I am 18 years old. I'm at school, so I get a call from my mother, and she says, our asylum application is rejected. We have to leave the country. We have only 7 days, otherwise police will come and get us. I don't cry. I don't think there's any tears left in me. I go back into the classroom, I sit down, I stare. I'm thinking, it's 2 months to the Christmas school prom, and I just got this good grade on the school assignment. And my friends, they are sitting and discussing the coming math exam, and it all seems so small now. We have to leave. My parents are terrified of deportation, and we have to leave and apply for asylum in another country. But it's a never-ending circle because of the Dublin Convention. Once you have applied for asylum in one country and you're rejected, you will be rejected in all other countries in Europe. So it's basically hopeless. I have no future. This is my fate. I go to say goodbye to my friends and I tell them this, and they are so upset with me. And I don't understand why. I mean, why do you care that I'm going to leave? And they're like, "But you belong here. You're part of our lives. This is your home." And I'm so confused because I'm so used to running, to coming to new places all the time, that their reaction, it just suddenly hits me. Wow, I have friends. I'm 18 years old, and for the first time in my life, I experience friendship, real friendship. So how can I leave now? I'm staying. I'm staying in the country. I'm here illegally. Yes. I'm 19 years old and I'm still illegally in the country. I have no ID, I have no passport, I have nothing. I can pay taxes or have health insurance. One evening, I look out of the window and I see 2 policemen and a police car, and my heart stops. I'm thinking, are they here to deport us? And I can smell my own fear. But luckily, they are just visiting our neighbors. This is the fear I live with. I think about deportation constantly, but at the same time, I try really hard to postpone these things, to not think about negative things today, but think about it tomorrow. Because if I think too much about it today, the fear will just ruin me. I cannot go to school, I cannot study, but to study is my dream. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm here, I don't exist here, I've got nothing to lose. I apply to university. Why not? And in the application letter, I write honestly that I don't have any papers, but I really dream of studying. And I'm accepted. I can study, but I cannot be in the country. I'm 22 years old. I'm finishing my bachelor's degree in anthropology. I earn money, I support myself through cleaning houses, private homes. And I dream, and I'm so ashamed that I cannot pay taxes, because paying taxes is what makes you a part of the society. My father is not feeling well. He had a heart attack just before we got rejected, and he had help. But now, the second we became here illegally, he has no right to medicines, he has no right to health care, nothing. But there is this amazing doctor who says, I don't care what kind of papers you have or don't have, I will help you. And this doctor there are so many people like this we meet on our way who are like everyday heroes who help us. But I still worry about my parents. I'm thinking, what if they die? How can I bury someone who doesn't exist? Can people who don't exist have graves? I read horrifying stories in the international press about people in the same situation. And there are stories about trafficking, prostitution. Many people work as slaves. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm lucky today, but what about tomorrow? What if someone rapes me tomorrow? Can I go to the police and report it? But the police will just then kick me out of the country. So what should I do? I'm not protected. I don't have basic human rights. I mean, even murderers have more rights than I do. I'm 24 years old. I'm finishing my master's degree in science and technology. I have several job offers, but I don't have any future. Half of my life now I have spent without papers, just running from country to country. I talk to lawyers, politicians, refugee organizations, and they all say to me, just get out of the country, there's no hope. But I say, why should I go? I belong here, I came here as a child. But this is reality. I can live here for 50 years and still not get the right papers. I read about people in the same situation I never read about people in the same situation in Norwegian press. I don't know, I've never met people in the same situation as me. I mean, maybe I've met them, but they are as invisible as me. And it hits me one day. One day I'm not afraid anymore. I'm so tired of being afraid. So I just decide that I'm going to be deported anyway. So I decide to write a book and tell my story. I want to tell at least one story about how it is to live without existing. I'm 25 years old. My book is published. It's called Illegal in Norwegian. It's a bestseller for a couple of weeks. I travel in Norway and lecture about this situation, and people are so shocked about it. One night in January 2011, after a lecture at this nonsense school, there are five policemen and 2 cars. They surround me and they arrest me. They say, we are going to take you to Trandum. It's an asylum jail. And I fear this place because I've heard so much about it. You have no access there. No journalists have access there. And it's a place that's been criticized by UN's torture committee several years in a row. I stay there for 6 days. The next 3 years of my life, I try to recover from the traumatic experiences there. One day I'm deported in January, in January 2011, I'm deported. And this feeling of deportation, it's so difficult to describe. I'm having an anxiety, it's something that I've feared all my life. I'm having an anxiety attack. My limbs don't work, so I just fall down to the ground. And these police officers around me, they keep saying all the time, sorry, we're just doing our job. Sorry, we're just doing our job. And they have tears in their eyes. And I whisper, sorry, I'm just a human being. And I realize that I whisper because I don't have a voice to shout. I don't dare to shout, because if I shout, then they'll just handcuff me, and then they'll put a gag on my mouth, like they do with other asylum seekers. So I'm deported. 3 months later, in April 2011, I come back to Norway. I come back, I have a passport, I have permission to work here as a journalist. It's a miracle, it's a democratic miracle. Because what happens when I'm arrested and when I'm deported is that my case creates a huge debate. There are people demonstrating, thousands of people demonstrating all over the country, and talking about about my situation and talking about the situation of other people who are here without papers, especially children. And in 2 days, there are 90,000 people in the Facebook group that supports me. That's even more people than in the Facebook group to Prime Minister. And till this day, there are people who come to me and say, oh, I was demonstrating for you. I really was following your case, and there are people all ages, from 10 years old till 100. And I say to every person that I'm here not because I wrote a book. I'm here because you read the book. You wanted to learn. You wanted to know more about the situation of being not existent. And to finish off here, I would like to mention one small detail about the room where we are. In 1964, Martin Luther King Jr. was standing here, right here on this stage. And he received a Nobel Peace Prize for his work against racial inequality. He was a brave man. And when I read his speech, I have a dream. All I keep thinking of is this Somalian girl and her dream. Her name was Samia. She had a big dream. She wanted to become the best runner in the world. And she made it so far. She made it so far from Somalia to Olympic Games in Beijing. And she was hoping for participating on Olympic Games in London. But unfortunately, she didn't get the right papers to travel to Europe. So she was so desperate because this was her dream. She was so good. So she decided to take on this really dangerous journey that many refugees take through the Sahara Desert, and she paid a lot of money to smugglers. And she got on one of these really small boats that are packed with people. And just near the shore of Italy, she drowned. She died. Her dream died. Her dream lies there at the bottom of this nameless mass grave Mediterranean Sea. And I find it so difficult to dream and hope that the situation for people who don't exist will get better. It's extremely difficult because it just keeps getting worse and worse. But hope is what I can do and what we should do, and hope and act, because we have to hope that I hope that my story and the way people in this country reacted to my case and how they changed the law by going on the streets, going demonstrations, and joining the Facebook group and writing in the media. I hope that this story can be a reminder of that we all have a voice. Democracy is not something that is given to us. It's something that we fight for, even in the societies where everything is fine. I think we can react and do something about the injustice. Or have we accepted the world where human rights doesn't matter? Have we accepted the world where human rights are not for everyone? Have we accepted that we live in a society where papers define you more than anything else? Have we? Thank you.